We absolutely love our fans here at CinemaSins HQ. Without you, none of this would be possible. Not all the people who watch our videos are kind. Big shocker, people are mean on the internet, says man shouting at a cloud. But as much as I avoid the absolute black hole that is the comment section, sometimes it truly gets to me. But I've been getting better at not letting it bother me, thanks to today's sponsor, BetterHelp. BetterHelp makes starting therapy easy. Sign up, take a short quiz, and get quickly matched with a licensed therapist. It's that easy. And if the match isn't for you, you can switch therapists at any time with no cost to you. Seriously though, if you spend a lot of time on the internet, you know how dark it can be. And talking to someone can help shine a light on that darkness. With BetterHelp, you can chat however you feel comfortable. Phone, video, or even text. I know starting therapy can be a big leap, but it's been such a game changer for me. One of the things my therapist and I talked about was channeling my energy into other outlets, more positive ones like my hobbies and exercising, which really helped me not to focus on the trolls. I don't even read the Reddit comments anymore. So with over 6 million people who have gotten help to date, why not give them a shot? Click the link in the description or go to betterhelp.com/cinemasins and get 10% off your first month of therapy. Comcast Blumhouse is a very, very, very fine house. Cliche. Also, 1 minute and 6 seconds of logos. This early close-up of Bear, whose face the movie will repeatedly use as visual shorthand for whatever emotion lives between what and oh no.
I feel like I'm coming apart.
Skip.
You're in every song I listen to.
Every song? Every song? Weird, because this guy has Cannibal Corpse fan club written all over him.
Oh my god, I knew it. I'm so sorry.
Bear folds under the mildest social pressure, which feels like the first step in this movie's thesis that with great lack of confidence comes great evil. It's a fascinating character angle, and exhausting to watch.
I'm not doing it again, dude. That was so embarrassing.
Honestly, I'd assumed he'd be more used to disappointing women.
You told me to pour my heart out. Do you know how vulnerable I just got?
Skip sins.
Flowers, the candy that she said she likes.
Okay, thank you.
Somehow Bear ignores the advice of the only woman present in this conversation in favor of grown adult who wears his cap backwards.
I'm sorry I made you do that.
Sorry doesn't cover all the tips she missed while you briefly embodied 4chan Shakespeare, Bear. Also trying to pull a Nathan Fielder, but not fully committing to the philosophy by recreating your collective apartments, extended families, and obtaining a seemingly unrelated pilot license.
Oh my god, dude, that was so embarrassing.
Based on how self-aware and shy we'll discover Bear is, it's actually kind of hard to believe Ian convinced him to rehearse this with a total stranger at all. But I guess we shouldn't let little things like character consistency get in the way of a lukewarm, cold open fake out.
You want me to call her Freaky Nikki?
Movie somehow makes flirting sound like a fetish accusation.
Like, hey, remember when you used to get bullied, everybody called you Freaky Nikki?
Freaky Nikki is a terrible nickname. Ian's trying to force a rhyme to make it kind of sound like Fricky Nikki, but there are other options that take far less effort. Brilliantly thought out and witty options that I will keep to myself for the sake of all the Nickies out there.
I love trivia night. It's all I have. I wake up every Wednesday rock hard thinking about trivia.
In an effort to establish the movie's title as its central organizing principle, we're dragged into the deeply cursed psychological space of a man who wakes up erect and looking for answers, but that is never explored further on the grounds of being a trivial pursuit.
You can't turn our weekly gathering of camaraderie and skill into your 7-year late proposal, Bear.
Not with that attitude, he can't.
All you have is time.
Okay, calm down, Christopher Nolan. It's just flirting.
Sandy?
This dead cat is the weirdest piece of foreshadowing since I drove past that telephone pole on my way to watch Hereditary.
How did you get into these?
A single line of dialogue that undermines the notion that this man has ever interacted with a creature who nature deemed it unnecessary to burden with the consequences of physics. Also, movie wants us to believe this was a simple cat death by curiosity, but the evidence suggests something far more sinister. After successfully completing a series of advanced dexterity challenges, this tiny furry locksmith somehow succumbs to the culinary judgment of a seagull. A cat 3 evolutionary leaps away from paying rent doesn't go out like this. This was clearly foul play. There's a note on the bottom of these pills that says do not eat, and I'm not sure who that's for. If it's for the human, shouldn't it be written on the front? And if it's for the cat, it's an exercise in futility because cats famously never do what they're told, even if it's written in Sharpie. Let's walk through this kitty cleanup with our logic hats on. Oh, I'm sorry. Did you think I was done with the most interesting scene in the movie? Bear moved poor Sandy off the carpet so he could clean the floor of the dead cat vibes. But instead of putting them straight into the trash bag, he moves the body to a secondary location, creating another cleanup. Is this sick enjoying this? Movie refuses to examine the deeply broken justice system that continues allowing the base cleft bandits to evade prosecution for their repeated rhythm violations. We're only 5 minutes in, and this is already becoming an emotionally exhausting hang.
Yeah, so I'm putting putting in my 2 weeks.
Nikki putting in her 2 weeks seems to function as a dramatic ticking clock for Bear, but she hasn't said she's moving, leaving town, or entering witness protection. She just said she's quitting this job. The urgency here only works if Bear's entire dating strategy revolves around interacting with women exclusively while they're clocked in, or if he believes unemployed people immediately vanish into the void.
Really? How come?
I don't know.
Excitement? Nikki just talked about how busy her workday was, so I think it's safe to say we are firmly in the PM. So what kind of trivia night starts at 9 p.m., a full 30 minutes past my bedtime?
I just dropped my crystal necklace down the drain.
Nikki dropping that crystal down the drain is the inciting incident for literally everything that follows, meaning this entire movie is the result of a completely avoidable plumbing issue. This movie isn't about the dangers of obsession, it's about the importance of a drain cover.
Oh my God, that's crazy.
What?
No, hold on a second.
We briefly stumble into a more interesting story where this crystal shop clerk has psychic powers, tells Bear to use his words instead of magic, and we're out of here in a cool 20 minutes, free to spend the rest of our time sipping pina coladas.
What's one that's like good energy, like good vibes?
You know, in case he confuses them with all the deliberately bad vibe crystals that these type of people would willingly wear around their necks.
I mean, it's basically sunshine in a rock.
The elevator pitch for the new live-action Moana movie somehow makes it into the script. Also, this only works if we apply poetic logic in a place of geology, astrophysics, and arguably metaphor. Granted, humans did eventually figure out how to turn some rocks into batteries. Still, the crystal people were annoyingly early, and their 9 volts sucked. We'll eventually learn this thing is dangerous for supernatural reasons, but the packaging suggests it was manufactured during the brief golden age of leaded gasoline, mercury thermometers, and cigarettes with asbestos filters. I mean, lack of federal oversight is written all over this thing.
Well, they're kind of like collectibles, so some people don't open them, but the people who do, come back and complain.
If these are collectibles, this store is weirdly relaxed about its inventory of valuable objects that just so happen to be cursed.
Or it does work and it like ruins their lives.
Or they die or wish they were dead.
Ha ha ha, we are having fun and laughing about the thing that's going to happen in this very movie. I don't know why Bear is giving Ian a heads up when Ian has made it very clear that he will block the first sign of Nikki nuptials at their sacred trivia night.
I'll get a pina colada.
This scene treats Bear ordering a pina colada as a shocking new character detail, but this group goes to the bar together every week. You don't just suddenly become a pina colada guy. That's a gradual evolution built on trust, growth, and increasingly tropical decision making. And Bear has definitely ordered one before because pina coladas are delicious.
Sarah just told me that her dad keeps a gun in the break room safe.
Wow.
I see exactly what the movie is doing here. This is a textbook setup for the gun payoff later, meant to plant the information just enough so it doesn't feel random when it comes back. The problem is the abrupt and forced way it's fed to us feels both painfully obvious and completely forgettable. It's like a Chekhov's push notification.
Why to Sandy?
She died.
Bear's cat died today, and somehow Sarah and Nikki are only just now learning this after they've all been sitting at the bar together for who knows how long. I'm sure this is meant to tell us something meaningful about his emotional repression or social isolation, but at a certain point, this guy stops feeling psychologically complex and starts feeling like homework. Also, earlier Bear mentioned that Nikki was there for him when his Nana died, so why isn't he telling her about the death of his cat? Expecting me to believe that Bear isn't the kind of guy to milk his dead cat for the sympathy snuggles is deeply optimistic.
You're saying no to karaoke?
I'm saying no to bad singers and sticky tabletops.
Nikki would be a freak at avoiding horrendous pastimes society has incorrectly decided are fun sins. In the previous scene, Ian was wearing a hat. In this very next scene, Ian's hat is missing. When will this new generation learn the important lessons of making movies? Bear ogling Nikki as she gives $20 of someone else's money to a person she patronizingly presumes is unhoused, unsheathes a power of boners hitherto unrealized. Also, giving $20 to a man sat outside a bar isn't a guaranteed way to see them waste $20 on booze, but I'd place its efficacy somewhere in the region of really f***ing likely.
It'd be weird not seeing you every day.
Bear, your tolerance for weirdness will become impressive.
No, it's not a romance, it's a love story.
Isn't that the same thing?
Not if you want to get laid by the person writing the love story, Bear.
You're asking if I have feelings for Sarah?
I'm asking how you feel about Sarah, and if how you feel about her is having a crush on her, then that would be how you feel about her.
I'm not sure if age has caught up with me or if this dialogue sounds like two people trapped in a semantic escape room where the only way out is aligning 3 abstract concepts, deciphering a metaphor, and opening a lockbox containing a slightly more annoying conversation.
When I have a crush on a guy, no one knows.
Humble brags that, at their core, simply illustrate a commitment to being counterproductive.
Do you like me?
Say yes. It either works or it doesn't. You two go make a wish for a pizza. It tragically comes with anchovies, and we wrap this whole thing up in under 30 minutes. Come on, Bear. Wait, is his name really Bear?
I think we're good friends.
Hey, Bear. F*** you.
Why?
Ever f up an interaction so badly that instead of trying to fix it with words, your immediate reflex is to reach for a novelty wishing branch you bought at a crystal woo-woo store? No? Just Bear? Literally just Bear? Literally no one else in the entire universe. Just this guy.
I wish Nikki Freeman loved me more than anyone in the f***ing world.
This is basically beware what you wish for, wrapped in monkey's paw logic, then dipped in Elmer's glue before being rolled around in the 2000 remake of Bedazzled starring Brendan Fraser and Elizabeth Hurley, before being cross-pollinated with the Genie episode from X-Files that also came out in 2000. Christ, what was in the water? Also, Bear makes the absolute rookie mistake of not wishing for more wishes. Also, Nikki's last name is Freeman, because Nikki, victim of an icky curse as a metaphor for fragile male egos, was confusingly already taken. Also, number 3. Don't worry, I only get 3 alsos and can't wish for more. It's amazing this wish works at all, considering how poorly Bear followed the rules as written. The instructions on the back of the box say, gently break in half and state your wish clearly. While it's unclear if the stick breaking happens before or during the wish, the one thing we know for certain is that it doesn't happen after.
Do you want to come inside, or...?
So, we're just done with phrasing, right? That's not a thing anymore?
Wait, what the f***?
What the f***?
For more on this developing story, let's go live to Nikki and Bear, where an awkward hookup is already in progress.
What the f***?
My dad's dying.
This lie will work, but I don't understand why it leads to Bear bringing her back to his place. The smart move is to walk her inside, keep things on her turf, and then sleep on the sofa. You're still a creep, but at least you're a creep minus a kidnapping charge.
It smells like you.
What do you mean? Does it smell bad?
No, just you.
This reminds me of one summer when I joked to some friends that I needed to stop at home for some deodorant to cover up the bad parts of my musk. Turns out it's all bad parts. That's how mammals work. This poster is, I swear, the most distracting thing in this scene. Is it a movie? I've Googled the damn thing to hell and back, but all the internet cares about is this poster about some lovesick French dude that Bear relates to. Best I could tell, it's probably relating to a movie from the 70s about infamous pool shark Minnesota Fats, but no one seems willing or able to tell me what pool has to do with this movie or why it exists as a sport.
I thought I saw something.
You woke the bear from his sleep. You cannot cry when he tangos.
You made me feel like I did something you didn't like.
Many directors have said something remarkably similar about CinemaSins. An invasive search engine. Weird happens in a horror movie and the main character immediately searches for answers on an off-brand Google cliche. Also thinking I'd missed this absolute prequel bait of a search link referring to a One Witch Willow incident in the 80s. Also, this article is conjecturing that a novelty collectible in the 80s and its associated jingle might have been an example of the Mandela effect. If only there were some way to prove that a collectible had been collected by some people, or that the commercial actually existed. Or maybe a website in this very search page that is selling the very thing you're saying might not exist. These contradictory opinions presented with identical confidence are the internet distilled to its purest form. I say with absolutely no moral high ground. Also, I'm not sure who I'm supposed to believe in this discourse when not a single mother has been disparaged and not a single comparison has been made to Hitler's economic prowess.
What were you doing?
I'm looking at porn.
My anger at Bear ignoring this red flag poorly disguised as a memorial is only surpassed by my rage at this movie's refusal to let this cat rest in peace. Also, Nikki is dressed in none of the clothes she was wearing yesterday. In fact, this is her work uniform. And why would that already be at Bear's house? What? Yes, I'm aware that she made a shrine out of a dead cat, but that seems like perfectly acceptable demon behavior compared to apparating clothing.
Oh, Nikki.
What?
Show me the plug and keyboards that isn't working.
Oh man, they dragged poor Andy Richter into this mess.
But I think there's more. Well, what the f*** is it?
Bear will explain to Ian that he had a crazy night with Nikki involving some very not Nikki behaviors. However, he never once mentions that she dug his dead cat out of the trash and made a Hallmark moment out of it on his kitchen floor.
Our dad has cancer.
Bear's need to preserve his fantasy of Nikki is clearly doing a lot of work here, and that's believable to a degree. People rationalize alarming behavior from people they're attracted to all the time, but there's a threshold where denial stops feeling human and starts feeling plot mandated. And for the sake of this argument, I get to decide where that threshold is. Massive props for the commitment to the previous searches here. I particularly like how to know if you've been friend-zoned and how to play Green Day's Basket Case on Marimba. But these are the kind of self-incriminating searches a man like Bear absolutely uses incognito mode for. I mean, come on, Green Day?
She was looking at both of us. We looked like we were talking about her.
The movie spends so much time trapped in these repetitive conversations that when things finally go off the rails, part of the relief comes from simply not having to hear Bear and Ian talk anymore. That's not ideal. Chaos should feel dramatically earned, not like a mercy killing of repetitive dialogue.
I was on MDMA and wasted.
That's okay.
It is not okay. Also, even if Nikki's story were true, Bear's response would still feel wrong. He hears behavior that should make him stop and ask harder questions, but instead offers unconditional reassurance. I'll even give the movie credit for that being intentional. The problem is the supernatural framing makes Nikki look like the danger, while quietly obscuring the fact that Bear is one too.
I really like what we have.
I don't. And yeah, I know I'm not supposed to, but I'm the referee here, and there just isn't technology to review my call on the field, mostly because I never installed it. But either way, it's not there.
Do you have feelings for me?
I swear we are verging on a skip bonus round, and I usually reserve those for romances, not love stories. Kissing! Breakfast! Kissing! Relationship montage segment? Also, the biggest sin here is how completely this montage distorts time. Was that a couple of days, a week, or one particularly eventful afternoon? Because one of those is cute, one of them is impressive, and the third feels medically concerning. This AI animation slop writing a check this movie will refuse to cash. Ian.
So, what do you want to do? I mean, I never really asked.
In 7 years, it's never come up between this group of friends that work together and quiz together. Nikki might have been confusing friend zoning with actually just being a bit of a dick.
Call me a closed book.
Well, I guess the good thing about a closed book is I get to read it from the start.
Demon Nikki exposes her naivete with this mortal plane by not understanding that an open book can, theoretically, be turned back to the beginning.
You put ketchup on your steak.
I don't think there's ever been more clear-cut evidence of villainy in film history than putting ketchup on a steak. If the movie is looking for a reason to stop generating empathy for Bear, I'm ready whenever it is. Preferably immediately.
Because I don't want to spread drama.
Narrative law dictates that drama must now be spread immediately and with reckless abandon.
I looked into Nikki's dad having cancer, and he's healthy as a baby.
Not to derail the point, but babies can, in fact, get cancer.
He's been to work, like, every day.
Fine, derailing the point. People with cancer can, in fact, still be employed. Also, Bear doesn't take this opportunity to explain how the uppedness of American healthcare system might actually force cancer patients to stay in work. Sadly, the movie seems completely committed to Bear never being close to anything that could be considered a rational thought.
I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
I called the hospital she told me about, and they didn't even know who I was talking about.
Demon Nikki made the baffling choice to specify a hospital that her dad is 100% not visiting for his 100% not cancer diagnosis.
I don't know, I think she has some kind of ill intentions.
There was a time when, as a society, we aspired to have only the illest of intentions.
It's a tiger's eye. It's supposed to bring you confidence and willpower, so...
Yet not seen at any point in this movie, IndyCar driver willpower. Also, that's such a strange shaped box for what becomes a fancy rock, almost like it was a tease to be another Willow-Wish branch thing, which also wouldn't have made sense, but at least I wouldn't be talking about this fucking box. The range required to play all the different versions of Nikki had to be both exhilarating and incredibly demanding. And Indy Navarrete deserves serious praise for pulling off this performance.
What are you doing?
Based on available evidence, this appears to be some kind of ceremonial T-Rex walk. Also, even YouTube-born Obsession couldn't hide its graduating thesis from the Blumhouse school of hiding your creepy things in corners.
Watching you sleep.
There are definitely less creepy places to stand while watching someone sleep, or so I'm told.
Can you come back to bed?
No.
Nikki is already unsettling enough that the extra horror movie creepiness feels largely unnecessary. Doesn't come across as character escalation so much as the filmmakers reminding the audience, just so we're clear, this is the scary part. Somehow this room contains an upsetting number of hat boxes.
Just come back to bed. Please.
Asking this to come back to bed.
Go back to sleep.
Turning your back on this after it refuses to come to bed.
Stay!
Staying after this said that when it eventually agrees to come to bed.
Can we talk about last night?
I know.
It's kind of weird.
Calling last night kind of weird is such an aggressively inadequate description of what actually happened that it's almost impressive. Too bad Bear's obsession with understatement is becoming exhausting.
How's this?
Taking the end credits of Pearl and adopting it as a personality.
Listen, Nikki.
Come here. Come here.
After all this time, I'm actually shocked none of the other possession ghosts we see in horror movies have taken the time to master the power of boners. Bear knows damn well he already withdrew all his surprise face expressions. He's about to get hit with overdraft fees. This is an alarming but wildly inefficient use of duct tape. If Nikki's actual goal is to keep Bear from leaving, most of this tape is wasted on the middle of the door, where it contributes very little structural resistance. The edges are doing all the real work here. This is less store barricade and more arts and crafts kidnapping. I mean, she's not going to ever be able to misery him with that kind of follow-through. She's going to misery him, right? Right?
No, I got it.
This scene brings the energy of a man trying to prove that a door opens both ways.
You going to Ian's thing tonight?
Ian's thing somehow makes it into the script.
You can give me a tattoo without school.
Thanks.
Has to be small in a hidden location.
Sarah misses the perfect opportunity to say she can't, in good conscience, recommend a penis tattoo.
What does that mean? What's the verdict? Cat?
Nikki has prepared a dead cat sandwich that was prepared so spectacularly that it didn't smell or taste like the rotting corpse of a long dead cat. I mean, that's a 5-star review for technique at least.
I can't look at that.
What does that mean?
Inside joke.
This cut is doing an incredible amount of work to avoid what should be a wildly complicated follow-up conversation. Bear just violently vomited after realizing he ate his dead cat, and Sarah is absolutely going to have questions that cannot be casually brushed aside.
Where's your car?
I had to Uber today. Check engine light.
There's nothing inherently unrealistic about Ian having car trouble, but the timing here feels awfully convenient. The movie needs these two stuck together long enough to force a conversation, so suddenly the check engine light appears right on cue. Functional? Sure. Subtle? Not remotely. But I also drove a car where the check engine light stayed on for basically the entire duration of my ownership, so I'm not exactly buying Ian's excuse here.
Nikki is literally fine.
In the last 12 hours, she has literally duct taped your door shut, cut your hair in your sleep, and made a Reuben out of your dead cat. There's a point where self-delusion becomes as certifiable as it is tedious. The windows in this car are so steamy that I don't think you could legally drive it anywhere other than a Hollywood soundstage.
You can't cook the cat, okay?
Clearly you can. If she's done nothing else, Freaky Nikki has proven feasibility. Why the hell is it 2:54 in the morning? Now I'm thinking they all live 4 to 6 hours away from their part-time job at the music store.
Is this One Wish Willow?
Answering a call like you're about to offer up some extremely lackluster phone sex. The kind where someone says, yeah, that's nice, with absolutely no conviction before both parties quietly question how they got there.
Like to cancel your wish?
No.
To be clear, at this point, Bear is still ready to manipulate the shit out of Nikki and force her to love him. He's given a clear out and makes it very clear that he just wants to alter the wish, not cancel the thing entirely. So he's fine with abusing women, just as long as she doesn't act weird while it's happening. And sure, he's not the hero, but I question how even the strongest of boners can tolerate the cat-cooking queen of Connecticut. I don't know they're in Connecticut, I just assume that's where the cat cookers are for alliterative purposes.
If you have any questions about how the wish works, or if you read the back of the box.
The person on the other end of this helpline provides help that amounts to read the packaging, making one wonder why the phone line exists in the first place, other than bring us the voice of a YouTuber turned movie director.
Just because you chose this for her doesn't make it less real.
It does, and much like Bear, I too have a terrible buddy called Ian. Ian chooses to believe that The Phantom Menace is the best Star Wars movie, but that doesn't make it real or him any less of a bad take chode.
I mean, when you die, the wish will go away.
I'd love to know how that wasn't included on the f***ing box. Also, movie introduces a ticking life cliche.
You want to talk to her?
Who is that?
Nikki.
The man on the other end of this call has a direct line to Nikki's trapped soul, and Bear will never once call this number again. Take it to the police, an old priest, a young priest, or Ed and Lorraine Warren.
Oh!
Skip! The real mystery of this movie ends up being why Bear has a towel that perfectly matches his uniform.
Ian invited me to a boys' night tonight, so I think I'm just gonna go to that.
That's so weird, because Sarah was telling me that she's going.
Which is something that Bear knows too. He also knows that Ian said he was going to tell Sarah not to come. So why doesn't he share that information with Nikki? Not that it would have helped, but it's weird that he didn't try.
Baron, I want to sit next to Nikki.
You do not. It's effective as in a horror movie context, but why would the demon have these exaggerated and confusing reactions? You'd think it would try to lay low, not act like a fucking alien.
Nikki, it's your turn.
I need someone to explain how turns are being decided in this game. Somehow Nikki gets a turn after the guy sitting on the opposite side of the table uses his turn to swap seats with Bear. And then it immediately becomes Bear's turn again. Even if I've misunderstood some part of that sequence, there's no version of this functioning on either clockwise or counterclockwise logic. At this point, I need a telestrator, a whiteboard, and probably former NBA referee Joey Crawford to explain what the hell is happening.
You're not my wife, Riddle, he said.
I'm more than your wife. I'm your sister.
The real reason the 5 people who saw Hansel and Gretel Witch Hunters told everyone else not to somehow makes it into this monologue.
If not, I would fillet his meaty forearm, roll it like a stick of licorice, and insert the flesh between my legs.
Movie outdoes every college ex-girlfriend story I've ever told in one fell swoop, and I'm comfortable signing a non-compete agreement in this regard. Seriously though, this is a pretty cool speech that compares Hansel and Gretel getting incesty to Nikki friend-zoning Bear as her de facto younger brother. But where's it coming from? It's a weird fucking thing for a demon to say, and it's altogether too articulate for the kidnapped soul of Nikki, who we last left screaming into purgatory.
Kiss the person on your left.
Somehow, even these giant Jenga blocks with drinking game rules written on them are pushing for maximum drama. Almost like the screenplay is written on them too.
And everyone in this room will die, never feeling the strength of connection I have felt with my bear.
It's interesting to note that this curse's version of love is this all-consuming, unhealthy, yet horror movie-friendly version of love. I'm just saying, I think it's taking a lot of creative liberties with the idea of love to fit a narrative that is commercially appealing. Therefore, this feature exists on the same coin as a Hallmark movie. Discuss.
It's not me! It's not me!
So close what we were looking for. It Wasn't Me by Shaggy. Demon Nikki is either trying to stop real Nikki from breaking through, or she is having a perfectly natural reaction to the extended exposure of socializing with drunk morons. Nikki leaving this hospital without being admitted or triggering police involvement may be the least believable thing in this movie. She was bleeding from the face, behaving erratically, and somehow the hospital interaction resolves like a silent movie in a parking lot. Also, couldn't Bear just pull some "if you love me, you'll go get stitches"? I mean, he could kind of do that with a lot of this stuff, right? I'm not saying it's right, I'm just asking questions, or following orders, or both. It's strange to me that Bear seems completely incapable of tending to a wound beyond providing a few Kleenexes.
Just go to the bathroom, Nikki.
Can I stand outside?
Bear not running with the idea that Nikki not asking to sit between him and the toilet is the biggest win of the evening.
I love you in every reality, Bear.
Presuming you can speak on behalf of the Nickies who exist as rocks, fight with those, and have sausages for fingers.
Thrill me!
What the f?
I genuinely have no idea what's happening right now, but it feels like Tenet, and accusing confusing things of being Tenet has worked for me before.
Any thought of pain or regret will slip away like chemical switch.
This particular diatribe goes on for so long that to my ear it becomes indecipherable from 99% of Oscar acceptance speeches. At this point, the audience knows nothing good can come from Bear texting Sarah while lying next to Nikki. The harder question is how Bear still does it. He's now experienced enough of Nikki's instability that this level of carelessness no longer feels naive or even willfully ignorant. It's like he's doing it for the thrill. Of course, none of Sarah's important things could possibly be constrained by the written word without being irreparably diminished.
He's sleeping. It's me.
No ID check, no frustrating password reset, not even a little two-factor authentication. Frankly, this is my new most unrealistic scene in the movie because every meaningful identity verification system in my life has required at least 3 unnecessary steps and 1 emotional breakdown.
What's so bad about being with me?
Somehow Bear's ego survived all this.
Just kill me, please.
With a few minor adjustments, I think we can fix this one.
Just kill me, please.
The movie accidentally stumbles into an interesting idea with Bear, passive villainy. He rarely acts decisively, but his refusal to take responsibility repeatedly enables harm. The problem is that while this is psychologically interesting in theory, it becomes tiresome in practice. Bear's defining flaw isn't bad decision-making, it's chronic abdication. Seriously, what do you even do with that dramatically? Is his arch nemesis going to defeat him while lying in a coma? Is the final boss just a strongly worded email demanding accountability?
So what the is up with Nikki?
She hasn't really told many people this, but her dad is dying.
Defending Nikki with a lie that can be easily discovered with 1 phone call to their mutual human, Ian.
And I also don't think it's right that she's leaning on you, especially since her and...
Skip!
I don't think it's okay that she's taking advantage of you.
Skip!
Ian and Nikki have been hooking up on and off for like 2 years.
Skip the Maloo!
He thinks that she's dating you to get back at him.
Skip the Maloo, darling!
I think you need someone more chill.
Thank you.
The ickiest part of the story might just be that f***ing Sarah, the nicest of the bunch, actually has genuine feels for f***ing Bear.
You're supposed to kiss me.
At this point, enough crazy shit, including a curse, has happened to Bear that he should now assume Scream rules are in full effect, meaning he should not be in a car in a creepy-ass park where there's no escape, especially if he plans on realizing his true love was there all along. Stop trying to be the final girl, Bear. This face-breaking goes on for quite some time. Longer than I expected, if I'm being honest. Still going. Yep, still happening. Starting to feel like we've made the point here, movie. No, really. Point received. Message understood. I am now becoming increasingly concerned. About what exactly? I don't know. My face and my facebone feel like pretty good candidates, though. I like them. But also, it's some terrifyingly effective horror. But also, it's fucking gross. My face hates you.
You're gonna have to help me get rid of her body.
He really didn't, and yet he does. At this point, while it is all his fault, he hasn't killed anyone, and Nikki has. Yes, it sucks that she'll go to jail for his bad wish, but no one is going to believe that shit. What I do believe is that this selfish shit stain would absolutely throw her under the judicial bus now that the murder has been done. Bear ain't the body burying type, my people. Their plan is to go to their place of work and hide the body there? That doesn't make any sense. What kind of music store has a kitchen big enough to prepare an entire human into sandwiches? This art school couldn't spring for the big envelopes to send out acceptance letters. Tough economy. Hard to cultivate artistic optimism when even the admissions department is operating under austerity measures. No. Bear returns to the woo-woo store where he bought the one Willow wish, but is completely covered in blood. Sure, maybe time will reset once he makes a fresh wish, undoing his OG wish. But he has to make sure he isn't arrested by the police before he can fucking do that.
First of all, sir, don't come here with this. It is too early. And second of all, I'm fucking with you. They're right here.
Where was this guy all movie? But as much as I appreciate the comedy of the moment, Bear is covered in blood, and that seems unremarkable to this guy for reasons I can only assign to the script.
Nobody would buy it.
If they knew the harm it could cause? I fucking wish, Bear. You could spell out the specifics, have them watch this very movie, and I guarantee you some asshole, probably me, would believe they were smart enough to make a wish that didn't backfire. If that wasn't the case, we wouldn't still be making movies on the matter.
She's obsessed.
Roll obsessivits.
You need to reverse it. You can make a wish.
I already used my wish, man.
It's pretty clear this guy and the lady from earlier confidently know that these things actually grant wishes. So why in the Robin Williams are they being sold for $6.99? Did this guy accidentally wish to be poor for the rest of his life? Sure, he's used his wish, but he should be selling these on the side to rich people and making absolute bank. If there's one demographic who will take a chance on buying a wish for $10,000, it's woo-woo loving rich people who need one more way to oppress the poor. The last thing I'd be doing is selling them on a fucking countertop for $7 goddamn bucks.
I wish Nikki Freeman only loved me as a friend.
What now? That doesn't even remotely solve your problems. This isn't reversing the wish. This is just removing the sex from exactly the same situation. Not to mention the fact that Sarah's still dead, and you're officially an accomplice. I'm not sure what good a friend will do when you're in separate prisons.
I made a wish. I didn't think it would work. I wish that Nikki would love me, but it worked.
This worked.
I wish for $1 billion.
The Magic chose the most dramatic way to give him the money. I assume that dropping $1 billion on his head was an attempt to kill him, but they easily could have just moved a decimal point in his bank account and sent a hitman to shoot him in the head. It lacks commitment to the whole wish gone bad thing, but the end result would be the same. Do a little dance, freaky little Nick, pulls us tonight, pulls us tonight.
I got like $1 billion, dude. It's real.
He was there when the money started falling from the ceiling, and he told you about the wish sticks. Of course, he knows it's real. I don't want to show any of this, really, but the sin in this scene is that Bear takes multiple attempts to remember where his brain is located in his head. Also, this is where the movie loses me. Bear absolutely needs accountability, but the film begins operating in a troubled space where self-destruction starts to resemble accountability, redemption, or both. If the intended point is that Bear is still choosing escape over responsibility, there's something psychologically interesting there. But this is delicate territory, and the movie handles it with far less care and nuance than the material demands. Oh, what's that now? Sterile pads for general bandaging and wound dressing? Then why the f*** was she bleeding on your bed, Bearsif?
You hear that? You hear that?
The demon seriously seems to have run out of ideas and just repeats the same thing again and again. She never tries to "here's Johnny" her way through the door. No originality whatsoever. The movie has to show us the used Willow-Wish branch thing because it just can't trust us to know that Bear's sudden change of heart wasn't because of his own free will, which just leaves me screaming about how much I don't care if the top was still spinning or not because it wasn't even his totem. The spell breaks and Nikki is left standing in the middle of a crime scene, which feels deeply unfair until you remember she did in fact help set all this in motion, including notably dropping the crystal down the drain. It's a strange choice to make all of this Nikki's fault, not the direction I would have gone personally.
Phenomenal cosmic power!